This is the weather forecast video for Tuesday, August the 7th, 2012. Taking a look at the satellite image from last evening, fairly quiet across the country, a few clouds across the south and east, some over the plain states and also in the Great Lakes, and some activity over the western part of Canada. The watch warning map from a bit before midnight, some excessive heat watches and warnings over the desert southwest where it's going to get quite hot down there, some heat advisories over the southern plains, some red flag warnings in the northern Rockies, and elsewhere it's quiet. The QPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days through Saturday evening at 7 o'clock shows a lot of rain along the eastern seaboard and into the Gulf Coast, upwards of 3 to 4 inches. Around here we could see some rain. Don't think it'll be that much though. Let's take a look at the 0Z GFS Model Run at 1 p.m. this afternoon. The 594 ridge is moving to the south and west where those excessive heat watches and warnings were in effect. We still have a northwesterly flow aloft here, and we could see some isolated activity today, but the chances are very minimal, and the better chances look to be outside the state at this point. But Wednesday, as a system is coming down from the north and west, that'll be enhancing the trough over the eastern half of the country. Some showers and thunderstorms possible Wednesday here night, mainly in the evening into Thursday morning. And temperatures will be dropping off from the upper 80s to lower to middle 90s today, back down into the 80s by the end of the week. And here on Friday, high pressure moves in and temperatures will be a couple of degrees even below seasonal norms, with highs likely in the upper 70s to lower to middle 80s across the state. This will last even into Saturday as a frontal system and disturbance will be over the Dakotas and Nebraska, moving ever closer to the state for the mainly here coming up on Sunday, but the GFS is really putting a lack of any precipitation around the state, so the chances are pretty about 20% or less here on Sunday, and maybe about the same, if not maybe a skosh better Monday, as winds begin to switch around to the south and west, and temperatures are going to warm back up into at least the 80s at that point. And a week from today, on the 14th, we still have a trough over the eastern half of the country. The ridge is really flattened down, so it doesn't look like really extreme heat around the country at that point, but maybe a few showers or storms around as we seem to be going into a pattern change at this point. So maybe a week or a little more of no extreme heat, so that'll be a nice change. A couple days later, on the 18th, we have now a trough over the west and a ridge over the south and east, and now we have a west to southwesterly flow aloft at this point, and that could bring a frontal system in with some showers and thunderstorms, so as the Gulf will be opened up. So this is something we haven't seen in a while, a trough over the west and a ridge over the east, so we'll have to wait and see on that if this pans out. And even so, at the end of the forecast here on the 23rd, still pretty much a broad trough over the western half of the country, a broad ridge over the south and east, and maybe a couple of showers and maybe a thunderstorm around with this too. So the pattern looks to be a lot different than the last couple of months, and maybe this will help in the drought in future weeks. Thank you for tuning in to the weather forecast video. We'll have another one on Wednesday.